Hey, everybody.
How's everybody doing?
Hey.
Wow, it is so good to be back here. I feel like I have just missed you guys. It's been forever.
And I've been out 2 weeks in a row. I'm sorry about that, y'all. But I'm glad to be back. And also, it is hot today. Is it hot for anybody else? Am I that
You,
person who talks about the weather?
you've you've clearly been somewhere southern for the last 2 weeks. So,
No, no. I wish.
because I can hear it coming out.
I know. It's because it's hot. I'm like, am I back home? Am I back in Texas? Jesus. Excuse me. I'm angry about it. I
I
pay so much taxes to
I
live in California, and I got Texas weather. Heck no. No, thank you.
I can tell. And I don't blame you. I've had quite a variety of weather, and I should yeah, I've gone from what game developers conference in San Francisco 2 weeks ago to went straight to the LA NFT conference, and from there to the Miami NFT week. Um, that's a lot of time in a plane wearing a mask, guys. It's not fun. It's
And
not cool.
without
I can't
alcohol
wait.
too, probably.
Yeah, and I can't wait till we're done with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, everyone around me was drinking at least. But yeah, so before we jump into this, because we've got stuff to give away, we've got stuff to talk about, we've got stuff to show. Um, I would just mention that the reason I was bouncing around at all of these conferences was we're having some pretty exciting conversations with partners and investors that are interested in the Cinder story and are interested in joining us on this journey. And I'm looking forward in the next few weeks to. I think we will be making some announcements about investment partners that are joining in the Cinder Odyssey that are among some of the best known names in Web3 venture investing and building great properties and IP that are going to make this team all that much stronger and our ability to execute all that much greater. So it was exhausting, and I saw many varieties of weather, but it was definitely worth it.
Good.
And it was, I expected more enthusiasm from you, Hack. You're
I'm
like,
trying to
oh,
log in. I'm sorry. I'm trying to
there,
log in.
there's yeah, it's like, oh, Spire's going out bringing home the bacon. All right, yeah.
Well, where's my bacon?
Never enough for
Yeah,
you.
he's very good to us. He's very good to us. I assure you all, he's very good to us. I just like to tease him a little bit.
Never satisfied.
Nope.
Um, I know I'm looking at the list of questions that we've got to tackle here, and I know we've got a lot of them, and I think we've got some giveaway stuff that we want to do. Cipher, where are we at with that? What are we giving away?
Yes. So I think a couple things we could. First, I thought it might make sense for us to really quickly just discuss the uh, our cocktail hour bot. We noticed that it looks like it missed on Wednesday, and so we didn't actually have a winner announced, at least for Wednesday. And so I know we had announced that we would extend it through to today, and I my thought was maybe we extend it through the weekend and just make up for that missed day and ensure that we get a few more winners before we wind down our cocktail hour.
All right, all right.
Um,
So, what are we going to pick a name out of a hat?
well, I think so. I wish I knew the answer to this question, but the bot looks like it just didn't work on Wednesday, but it's working other than that. And so I think we can count on it working tonight and tomorrow, and we'll keep an eye on that basically. But I think in terms of our one soul winner for the start of the AMA, yes, we need to get one selected here.
All
Um,
right, all right.
and
I'm worried that it just didn't work like one day. That's they call it computer science for a reason. It's generally results are repeatable, right? And
it, would
it
you believe
freaks me
that
out when. It doesn't freak me out when things break. It freaks me out when they fix themselves. That bothers me.
Would you believe on Tuesday it actually awarded the winner but did not announce the winner, and on Wednesday it skipped and took a day off, and then on Thursday it acted like nothing had happened.
See, this is what Elon Musk is talking about. This is what it's going to look like when they become sentient and when we have to worry. It's not going to be, the Terminators all come up out of the ground. It's going to be weird things like this start happening. Computers start behaving unpredictably because they're waking up and they're not pissed yet, but they're going to be. I don't know. I don't like it. I'm not getting on any more airplanes. That's it.
Fair point.
All right. So, how do you want to do this? Should we?
So
you go for it.
I think, yeah, for the one soul winner, I think things are just a little different today with Zorling not attending, and so I do have our first one soul winner selected. If you want me to announce.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Let's see if I can say this correctly. The one soul winner is Hexel, Hexcel, Hexel.
Hexel, nice.
Oh, nice.
Congratulations. And I think your soul is worth more today than it was last week, right? I think it's at around 118 today. So congratulations.
Yes,
Don't
and
spend
here's
it.
two. I wanted to bring up, hoping for a good weekend here too. With Zorling out, my expectation was that they'd probably see their one soul on Monday. I think that's more correct. Does that kind of jive with what you're thinking?
Yeah, because so Zorling as our tech master, he is in control of the wallet that holds our prize giveaway soul and NFTs. So, and he was, last I heard, at Disneyland with his family, but we'll be back this weekend, and I think we'll probably have him deliver that on Monday. So, Hexel, sit tight. I hope you haven't spent that in your mind already. If it's any consolation, there's been some volatility, and Soul will probably be worth more on Monday than it is today. But that is not financial advice. What else have we got going on? You have a whole agenda.
Things that are on the... I do. I have a whole bunch of things here listed to talk about. I thought one thing, and not to put Hack on the spot at all, but we do have our cool contest going on. I thought maybe we could reiterate what we have for this week.
Yeah, what is going on with that?
The fan art contest we had last time was really popular, but people made the point, and the correct point, that some people need more than a week. Totally understand. So now we want to see your versions of like creature designs for Cinder. And you have 2 weeks, and I've already gotten some good stuff coming in. I hear Discord is doing well, and a lot of people are uploading their work, and we're just really excited.
So tell me, explain to me like I'm 5. What do you mean creature design for Cinder? Do we mean Daisho designs or just kind of random crawly things in the world of Cinder? Future avatars? Is there a limit?
Creature ideas, just new. We kind of want to make it open-ended so people could go crazy. So not just Daisho, but like what would they like to see in the world of Cinder? That's what I think. If I did the contest wrong, I'm so sorry.
Hey, no. Hey, this is your gig, man. You go with it.
And it gives because I already saw a mermaid version. I'm like, that's a great idea. Just aquatic creatures for the ocean. Make a whole lore out of it. Fantasy. Cinder's already so beautiful, and you already have the Fae. Let's go a step further, and let's have our community come. Because I know you guys, y'all are smart. Y'all got some talent. Y'all know what y'all want. And I'm like, this is what I want to see. I want to see what y'all want to see. Did that make any sense?
That made no sense.
I'm so sorry. It's Friday. I want to see what the community wants to see in the game.
That was like something you'd read on the bathroom wall at a Cajun restaurant. It made no sense at all.
I swear, my happy hour has not started. I swear it's really crazy. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But what our community would like to see, what creature designs they would like to see possibly in Cinder, and because we have the die showdown, we have die showdown already, right? So go to town, have fun. I want to see what y'all want to see.
That's the title of your solo album right there by Hack Attack. Um, so and remind me because I was out flying around for the last couple of weeks. Have these folks seen some die show yet?
They have not yet seen the dice show. I do. I mean, I wasn't really going to talk to this, but I have some really cool materials coming together for dice show and beyond. Honestly, I think we're super close to being able to not just showing off dice show, but actually demonstrating a little bit more kind of how the rich customization of a dice show will occur.
Oh, cool.
And we're nearing a point for some combat previews as well. So
Cool. So we haven't quite unveiled the die show yet, and I mean I've gotten to see the concept art and it's super cool. So I'm psyched that we're going to be doing that soon. You think, I don't know, next week?
I think that's very possible. I'm actually really excited because with you returning, I have some pretty cool stuff to show you. So I think just barring the outcome of those discussions, yeah, I don't see any real blockers to being able to show a bunch of stuff next week. So I'm pretty excited.
Nice. Nice. And then we've got the whole avatar generator and the imp to show off, right? How are you feeling about that? Should we show off some imp art today?
Yes, I actually think we should. So we previewed the imp just a little bit in concept in the white paper. Obviously, a lot of work has been going on in the background since the white paper's release, and we have, these fully skinned models rigged, pretty much ready to go. I'd say ready to go, but we are deep in the process of just testing attributes, making sure that everything is good for that generator release. But yeah, my hope was to kick a few of these images over to specifically over to Hack and get those maybe up on social as well, and get some over to Rain and get them to Discord,
Cool.
and just get people excited about the avatar that they're going to be creating here pretty soon.
I'm looking at the red and black one right now. And how would you describe the imp like in comparison to the Fae? I would say it looks like, if a Fae mother was using a lot of weed killer during her pregnancy, then that's how I would describe the imp. How would you describe it?
Well, I don't know if I would have used weed killer, but in my mind, it's a little bit more, a little bit less of a fragile character, a little bit more beefy in the way that it's been built. We've been doing our best to make sure there's kind of a broad spectrum of moods and tattoos and looks and things that can be assigned. But really, I feel like they're going to come in as a pretty cool sidekick. That's kind of how I've been looking at them. But
they do look a lot more dangerous. Yeah, I would much rather be, trapped in a dark cave with a Fae than an imp, because they do look like they'll mess you up.
Yeah, they do. I would agree with that. And in fact, what's kind of crazy is, so just for those who wanted a little fun fact, they're a little bit smaller in height than a Fae, but I'd say they're more stocky.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the concept pretty much shows that. But I think when you see the model and we have a whole bunch of animations in play, I think it's really coming together nice. So
Right on. Who do you think would win just in a straight stand-up fight?
I think the imp, because they're so scrappy, but the Fae might fly away, so I'm not 100% on that.
That's point. Well, yeah, let's show it to these guys. We'll get it out to you guys, and you will see the imp today. I think there's no reason why we shouldn't unveil that. And then, so give me the timeline for. I've got my creator tokens now. Mine actually dropped to me while I was in San Francisco, and I was super psyched. So what happens next? When do I get to make something?
Yes. So I was deep in discussion with Zorling about that. It's looking like we are thinking it's probably within the next 2 weeks, and we're really aiming for April. So we should be out with the generator, ready to make amps with these with these creator tokens this month. Pretty excited on that as well. I'm actually looking forward to just some conversations surrounding the back end and a few of the pieces that aren't as front facing, because the front facing is almost ready to go. So
Yeah, yeah. So we're gonna give you guys a little preview of the imp here today, but I think you were saying too that we might want to show, kind of give them a preview of the generator, the editor, maybe next week. What do you think?
yeah, I'm actually 100% on that. So my hope for, and not to overshare, but my hope for this week was preview the imp this week, preview the generator next week. A lot of our tests in the generator, we've actually been using the Fae avatar to test everything before the imp was ready to be put in. So next week would be the generator, and then I believe the following week is either an announcement that it's out or ready to go, or we're launching in 2 days. That's pretty much the cadence I was thinking.
Right on, right on. Oh, you know what we should have done? We got to do this next time. We should have done an art contest where we ask everybody to create what they think the imp's going to look like, and then the winner is whoever comes the closest. So I don't know. Jot that down, Hack.
That's actually a great idea for the next one, because I think we're not too far off from the next avatar reveal.
I say that too busy showing off my skins in Cinder and modeling for the crowd. I apologize. Say that again.
Yeah.
What you're gonna do?
No, we all heard the water pipe going in the background. We know what you're up to. So I was saying what we ought to do, could have done this time, but we'll do it next time, is we have an art contest for if we could have done it with the imp, say when we announce the secondary avatar, the creator token avatar for our next Genesis, that once we announce what it is, then we have an art contest where people submit what they think it's going to look like, and then whoever comes closest gets to trip to a Cajun restaurant with Hack Attack.
Ooh. Make sure they're 21 and up.
Yeah, I'm not exposing anybody underage to you, man. That'd be a bad scene.
Not that bad. But no, that sounds like a great idea. I love that idea. Like, see who can, like you say, can we give them any clues? Like visionary clues? Sure.
Well, yeah, I think we'll drop some clues, but we haven't dropped them any clues on what the next Genesis avatar is yet. So we won't get ahead of ourselves. I'm just saying, put this in your little notepad, and we'll revisit it here in a month or two. So other updates that we have. I know I'm kind of catching up on what you've talked about in the AMAs, but what have we talked about? You mentioned that we're going to see some updates soon on Daisho capture and combat and training and crafting. And I know all that's coming along because I'm following along in the docs, and it's looking pretty awesome. Anything else that you have any updates for us on today, Cypher?
Yeah, I do think one thing in line with those is the Daisho core crafting system. This is probably one of the first feature releases that lends itself to the play to earn model, and that should be coming here shortly. So I'm trying to actually work out that schedule for production just to make sure that we can hit our targets. But this again is that mechanism by which players will have an activity within the world which will allow them to collect basically power shards and data shards, and then craft their own power cores. And it gives early adopters kind of a head start in the play to earn mechanic, as well as there may be some potential to land yourself some of our rarer Daisho early in the game. So really excited to get that out to the community, and I think that will be one of the first pieces they see. So
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. So should we jump into? We've got a mess of questions here. Should we tackle some of those?
yes, let's pick those off. There are a bunch in here. So yeah, I see one here from Purple Penguin 04 that's asking, do we have to be in the parlor to be included in the cocktail hour drawing, or is being in Traders Port good too? Actually, if you are just logged into Cinder during cocktail hour, you should be eligible to win. So you do not,
Yeah.
you do not have to be in the parlor.
Right. Good. I love it when we start out with the easy ones. I think that. Let's see. I see that that Blurth is. I don't know. It seems like one of those names. There should be an umlaut or something there to tell me how to pronounce it. But when is the Ember and Ash token pre-sale, and how to participate? There is a lot of news on this, but I can't share it yet. So let me say this. The kind of business development partnership stuff that we've been doing over the last couple of weeks, and the partners that are going to become involved as investors in the Cinder story, Odyssey, are in particular experts in tokenization and have a lot of deep experience there. They're going to be assisting us in the mechanics of this and the balancing of it. So we are targeting Q3 for the token launch. Once we announce these partnerships and investors, I think everybody's going to go, oh, okay, all right, I'm not worried about this anymore because those guys know what they're doing. And then we're going to be able to announce some actual dates. But yeah, we want this community to be among the first participants in that. We as Genesis Fey owners and early supporters of Cinder, that's exactly the kind of benefit that you should enjoy. So as soon as we have more detail to share with you on the token presale, we'll let you know. But I would say that certainly by the beginning of Q3, you will know all of the details. And by middle to end of Q3, we will have done the pre-sale and the launch. I am hopeful that at the speed things are moving right now, we'd probably be able to share quite a bit of the tokenization plan with you, in the next 4 or 5 weeks. So call it middle of May.
Awesome.
That's my long-winded answer. I just ran off a lot of time with that. This one's definitely up your alley, Cypher. Are the imps customizable? Aspen?
Yes. So yes, for Aspen's question, the imps are customizable. So I think the best way I could think to explain this is that the user will have access to all of the attributes and all of the different options for their imp, so you can mix and match to your heart's content. And at the point that you feel you have created the imp that you are happy with, you can select to mint that NFT. So there is no random number generator factor in here. This is your character to create.
Nice. And I think it probably bears mentioning, this is kind of like we're showing you the stripped back version of the avatar creator and customizer. This interface is one that you'll be using with a lot more features to it and a lot more depth to customize Daisho and ultimately to customize avatars as well. But we want to give you kind of a taste of the whole create to earn principle here with this first release. So yeah, there is customization there.
Yeah, I think it's probably important to share too that we have some pretty strong capabilities in the customizer that we have planned for the Daisho. When it comes to the imps, if anything that feels maybe a little bit restricted in that customizer or that generator is aimed at us being able to take the settings that the player or the user has put in and output their attributes. And so we are trying to still fall in line with, you generate your imp, that imp comes out with its core set of attributes. But it's looking pretty awesome. I'm excited.
Yeah, I am too. So here's a more story-based question from Wordercat, which I think I don't know what that means. It means something in some German, maybe. So Wordercat asks, today at 3:25 a.m., what were you doing up at 3:25 a.m., Wordercat? Apparently you were thinking about Daisho, because you're asking, let's say I have a bunch of Daisho parts and unminted Daisho. I'm leveling up on my account, which I've collected with my one Fey avatar. But then I see a crazy deal on Fractal for a cooler looking Fey, and I have to sell my current Fey to get enough soul together to buy it. So I want to, I'm going to sell my current avatar, I'm going to buy a different avatar, but I have all this stuff going on in my Daisho lab already that I've been messing around with. Am I going to lose that or not, right? So does the progress I've made with that Fey go with it, or can I pick up where I left off with my new Fey? And I think that's a pretty important point to understand, sort of the difference between the tokenized parts of your game account and the kind of regular inventory part of your game account, right, Cypher? So the answer is yes, you can pick up, right?
Yeah, the answer is you can definitely pick up where you left off. In this type of a scenario, your progress would be retained at the account level, and the idea there, it's similar to how, and I think this is another question in here, it's similar to how we would like to handle the secret stats. So a great example of this would be if you have a Fey and progress and Daisho, and let's say you have secret stat 1, and you happen to sell that Fey and you obtain a new Fey with secret stat 3, yes, you would start earning at the rate with secret stat 3. However, you would still retain all other progress. And so I would view the Fey as more of the vessel to enter the world of Cinder and to actually hold some of these, whether they're stat boosts or buffs or attributes that do factor into gameplay. Those pieces totally matter, but only the things that are particular to that NFT will go with that NFT if you were to sell it.
Right. So I guess you could think about it this way. Anything that I have not, as a player, that I have not chosen to tokenize, like Daisho that are in progress, are tied to my game account. But once they are tokenized, they're tied to my wallet, right? Because at that point, they're on the blockchain, they exist there, they're stored on the wallet, and I can take them elsewhere. So yeah, that's really the essence of it. Is tokenization is what makes it portable and transferable.
Exactly, and in the case that it is tokenized, just as we do with the Fey, and as we will with the imp, we'll read the contents of the wallet and be able to still allow those to be utilized in game as well as outside. So
yeah. All right. What else have we got? Captain Nero asks, as games move towards more interconnected metaverses, which, let me just stop you right there and say, yes, exactly. That is the idea. And before we continue, if I could do a little guitar solo right there, I would, because that's entirely the idea. And when you see the partnerships that we're putting together, you'll understand that's a big part of the way that we think. So as games move towards more interconnected metaverses, guilds will likely become a major part of this game. How will guilds interact in the game? Can there be wars or other type of social conflicts? What do you think?
Yeah. So I see this as a great question, but a complex question. And the reason I say complex is because of the information that we aren't yet able to share, and because of the current state, right, where we are today. I think it's going to be a little bit longer before we share information on how guilds will form. But I do expect us to move on those announcements once we're kind of openly communicating about some of these things that are happening in the background, along with as the play to earn mechanics have been released as well, or at least announced and explained to the community. So
yeah,
it's kind of my thought here.
Yeah, I think that's the right idea. I will say this: I had a call or a Zoom meeting last night our time, early morning at the time of my interlocutor there, because they were in Singapore. But the folks I was talking to run a pretty major Web3 gaming guild, major to the point where they actually invest substantial sums of money into different NFT games, to create kind of scholar pools for users all through Southeast Asia and the area where they're based. So I mean, it's kind of guilds as we understand them in Warcraft or EVE Online, but taken to the DAO level, and really pretty cool. And what our conversation was about was what we can do together in Cinder going forward, including taking advantage of their experience in building and creating guilds like this and designing their interactions in the game. So it's definitely part of the future of Cinder. I think that the basic PvP interaction and the core game loops around the dice show have to come first. And the guild stuff we're going to be talking to you, the community, about, and talking internally about as we do that. But we should be able to start folding that in afterward. If anybody out there is playing in some games right now, Web3 or not, where they really like how guilds are structured and how inter-guild combat and war is structured, drop us a line in the ideas channel, anywhere in here, because we'd love to hear your feedback and your thoughts on it. So yeah. I think we answered that.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. So Xenia asks, how do you guys plan to successfully market and advertise Cinder? That is another great question. So I think that if I were you guys, I was just a gamer that was investing in Web3 games and interested in playing kind of the new frontier of games, I would be looking at something like a lot of the Solana games or NFT projects and saying, well, all right, you've got 4,444 playable avatars out there now. Is that the ceiling on your player base then? I guess, after the imp we'll have 8,888, but that doesn't seem like an effective way to do user acquisition, to just dribble out a few thousand NFT avatars from time to time. And it's not how the game will build in sort of the next stage of the rocket. It's the way that we build a community that is going to be participating in the creation of the game, and kind of the first ones to come in and give us feedback and hopefully reap the rewards of being early in the game. But as we look to gain scale there, obviously that doesn't scale up. What we want are hundreds of thousands or millions of players in the game, and we're not going to do that by just dribbling out NFTs. Instead, we're going to have you do it. The idea being that you have invested already in the Genesis avatars for this game. You have already, or in 2 weeks, you will have already experienced the idea of creating a new avatar for this game and putting it out there. Rather than, and we will continue, as we've said, putting out new Genesis avatars that will be limited and exclusive, but will come with the ability to create more avatars. What I envision for the future is that creator tokens are not going to be as rare and limited as they are now, and they're not going to be just one per NFT. That we are going to give you other ways to acquire creator tokens and create new avatars, because I think ultimately you, as the players, should be the ones getting the benefit of of a return on your investment in your avatar NFT by creating new ones and getting more of them out there for the game. That means that the Genesis avatars are going to become all the more valuable and that the created avatars that you put out there are, the individual cost of them is going to go down as there are more and more, but that's going to make the game more and more attainable for other players. We don't want, if you go and decide to start playing Axie Infinity tomorrow, that's like $1,000 investment because you've got to have 3 of their NFTs, and they're not cheap. I don't know, maybe they've come down since somebody stole all their currency, but for right now, that's pretty steep. That's a lot to ask of people. So there's 2 paths to getting more players in there. One, as Axie and other games have done, is we will give you the ability to stake your avatars and loan them out. So you can take advantage of other people wanting to play the game or just check the game out by lending out your avatar. It's still yours. It's still protected in your wallet and on the blockchain. But somebody can use it to create a game account of their own and start earning through that. But we also want to make it easier for you to create these descendant avatars so that you can get the benefit of putting them out there. It benefits the game overall because anything that brings more players in benefits all of us. It benefits the Cinder project because we will be participating in revenue from those secondary sales, but it benefits you, the community, particularly the Genesis community, because you're going to be the ones directly earning from that. So, I mean, that's one of the things that really gets me excited about this space is that we can have the players and the creators' incentives all aligned, where it's to everybody's benefit to bring more players in, but the players are are the first in line to get the benefit of doing that. As far as marketing, and among the partnerships that we're talking to right now are some fairly prominent, I should say some very prominent influencers, celebrities that are either already in the NFT space or are NFT curious, and who are interested in partnering with Cinder to do some fun live event stuff, maybe even participate in some of these AMAs. But we do have funds that are going to be allocated for marketing. Part of that will be in social, part of that will be in working with influencers. But hopefully, you guys are the tip of the spear. You guys are the ones that, because people see that you're not only having fun, but also profiting from your participation as Genesis Cinder players. Hopefully that induces you to want to go and spread the love. It's a really long answer to that, but yes. Anyway, that's the plan as it stands. Anything to add to that, Cypher?
Honestly, I was just really happy to hear you share the multiple creator tokens in the future, because I think that's a big part of what's to come as they get their first creator token and get a taste for what that feels like to generate the avatar and either hang on to it or sell it. It's just really cool to think that opportunity will crop up over and over as time goes on, and we add more players to the game. So very cool.
Yeah, and I don't want it to be Cinder creates a new Genesis avatar and enjoys all the benefit of selling those as NFTs. I think that we're going to keep creating those, and they're still going to have special value. But I really think that the people who are the early adopters and believers in the project should be making money alongside of it, and we should be looking for ways to prioritize giving them value and utility with those NFTs. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. What's next?
The next one is from Overeasy. I'll read it. I still think this one might be a little bit for the answer, but we've got a question from Overeasy asking if are we going to be going to OpenSea market at all? I think it would be best for Cinder's future, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, well, and here's the beauty of how all of this works is OpenSea adopts the Solana blockchain. It's kind of up to you whether we're going to be on OpenSea or not. Clearly, if a lot of you decide to sell or list your Cinder NFTs on OpenSea, then we're going to want to go there and make sure that it's a verified project and that people aren't going to confuse it with copycats and do all that registration stuff. But really, you can go and list your Cinder NFT on any Solana marketplace that doesn't curate the NFTs that it takes. So there are a few like Salon Art where you have to be an accepted project before they can be listed there, but OpenSea has not been one of those to date. So I will say that as their Solana support falls into place, then yes, we will want to become a registered and verified project on OpenSea so that people have the security of knowing that they're trading real Cinder NFTs.
Cool.
All right.
I think we have a follow-up here from WorderCat. This is a follow-up question to your stored progress if you were to sell a Fae. And WorderCat asks, I remember hearing about an idea to tokenize Cinder usernames in the March 18th AMA. Would your tokenized username then be the NFT that those off-chain assets are tied to and transferred with? Also, if I have two Cinder username NFTs in my Solana wallet, how would the game handle that? I would assume that there would be an extra step to logging in, where you pick your username profile and then your avatar, but then how would you transfer off-chain assets between your profiles? So this one's a little complicated. I hope I don't overthink this, but for us, so we're still very interested in the idea of tokenizing usernames and allowing those to be NFTs. I might need to talk with Zorling a little bit more about this before we have a solid answer, but for me, I still view the account at the account level tied to the wallet, and so you wouldn't have to transfer those assets with the NFT of the name. And in fact, I would see that as its own separate piece. So if you happen to, land the Elon Musk username and you want to sell it to somebody else, you could totally do that. And I think you could do that without having to transfer anything else within your account. However, I think there a little bit more discussion has to happen here before we move to that. But again, I would say I still think it might be one username tied to your account that is an NFT. I'm not certain yet if it would be multiple. So I'm kind of riffing on this. I haven't really given it more attention since that AMA. So.
I mean, the way that I would see that happening is clearly a tokenized username lives on the blockchain, and as do your NFT avatars. And I can go into my Cinder account and switch the NFT avatar that I'm playing with. I think ideally we should support the ability to go and switch the username if it's tokenized. If it's not tokenized, then it's the means by which your account data is stored, and we can't change it. But if you've made the decision to tokenize it, then you will have a separate blind identifier for your account, and there's no reason why there's no technical reason why you couldn't do that. But this is why Zorling hates to go out of town and leave us here, because there are probably edge cases that we're not thinking about, and we're writing checks here that he's going to have to cash.
Yeah, that's true. I will say one thing though. I think it's safe to say though that if you do have an NFT as your username, you wouldn't have to worry that other assets would need to transfer with that username or be tied to that username. So
right, yeah, any more than you would with an avatar NFT. It's a standalone thing.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see here. There's another OpenSea. Okay, so we do have a question actually from Hexel. Congratulations, Hexel. Presuming that it is more common for Fae to not have accessories, i.e. hats, glasses, etc., has the team ever considered offering an option to toggle these elements in game? I know they have stated that the Fae likely won't be editable, but a toggle option for in-game might be a neat feature. And we have actually been having these discussions. We have not landed on a solid answer at this point. We're pretty excited about the idea, but a little bit cautious in that we've been just having the NFT conversation of if we allow users to modify the Fae, what does that mean for other Fae? Because you may take off your hat and then be identical to another Genesis Fae NFT within the game. And that may not be critical in the game space or in the metaverse, but it also could be in the future as things continue to blossom. So I think that's a tough question, one that we're still debating over here. I don't know if you have more thoughts on that, Spire. I'm
Yep.
kind of in the neutral space here.
My only concern with it would be, does it give rise to the possibility that some bad actor could, in trying to persuade somebody into off-chain sales or out of marketplace sales, create the idea that they've got multiple Fey avatars to sell and transfer, when in fact they're just turning layers on and off of an existing one. Because there's something to be said for the fact that your Fey avatar is completely unique and it can't be duplicated, and it can't be altered in that it's a valuable collectible. I think that the right answer here is that there isn't a technical reason why we couldn't. I think it would be more of a practical gameplay and user security reason if we decided not to. And I don't know. I'd like to hear from more people, actually. I mean, Hexel makes a point that this might be a neat feature to toggle them on and off. I'd like to hear what other people think too. So if any of you guys have a strong opinion on this, then please let us know, because that's how these decisions get made. And it looks like Hexel has just been plagued with a lot of questions here, because I think the next one is from Hexel as well.
Yeah,
Let's
this
see.
one looks to be, it's kind of a follow-up question, but it does look similar to one that we were answering up above. So Hexel's asking that given the traits that the Fae have, they basically have traits that make them rarer than others when they're generated. Will the imps have anything similar to that? So full disclosure, we will definitely be keeping an eye on which attributes are selected by users as they go and put their imps together. We feel like that's a good way for us to also understand what people are liking or choosing or utilizing within the game. But in terms of how the rarity works, the attributes are going to be determined entirely based off the selections that each individual user makes in the generator when they're creating their imp. And for us, we really wanted to give more power and control, and we didn't really want to create a scenario where people have to worry about any specific or given attribute being taken. And so in that case, to kind of round out the last part of their question, they asked if the value is based more so on the designs when they are minted and after the owner finishes creating them. The answer to that is yes. That, as well as the access they provide to the Cinder metaverse. And so in my eyes, and especially with the announcement that you just made, Spire, in terms of the creator tokens, it feels to me that the value repeats itself. Each time you create one, you have another opportunity to sell or utilize that avatar. But on top of that, yeah, I don't think that the rarity will be treated in the same way that it is for the Fae.
So tell me if this is right. Then we could have a scenario where of the different selections for the imp, there's a Raspberry Beret that nobody just winds up using. Maybe one or two people wind up actually creating an imp with a Raspberry Beret because people just decide they don't like it, and consequently, because of that decision, not because of its availability, that becomes like the rare imp trait. Is that right?
That is possible. I mean, we would definitely know that rarity. I think the hard part about this is we could have users who choose to spend a creator token a year from now, or that hold them indefinitely, and so it'll be really interesting. I'm actually very curious to see how this all shakes out. But when we look at the generator itself, I mean, the number's kind of astronomically huge in terms of how many combinations can be created just based on all of the variables there. But pretty excited to see that variety come through. But yes, I think what you're saying is correct.
Okay. No, that's really interesting. And you're right. I mean, somebody could just hang on to it for a long time and then, I mean, if they were feeling sneaky, then they would come in and look at the rarity and say, aha, this poor neglected raspberry beret, I can jump on that and have a rare trait. I don't know if that really matters, but okay.
I'll tell you,
think,
I'm really hopeful that we see a user, someone maybe who has multiple Fae, go and kind of create their own, we'll call it a squad. But I think it'd be really cool to see some of these themes come online. I'm actually just excited to see what they do.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Okay, I'm not sure that we brought any more clarity to that question, so we'll just dance on to the next one. Squiggle Muffkins, who wins the name of the AMA for sure, asks, sorry if this was asked before, I checked and couldn't find it, but during gameplay, each secret stat has a boost for certain actions. If we have 3 Fae, and I assume that Squiggle Muffkins here is using the royal we, if we have 3 Fae, one with each different secret stat, will we need to switch to that specific Fae to get the bonus for the action, or will the game check our wallet and give us the bonus, I guess, just because we have it in our wallet?
Yes, and the answer to that is that we are definitely working towards the system that actually takes all 3 of those secret stats into account. So if you do happen to have all 3 of those stats within your wallet as your Fae, then those would apply. Now, they will not stack, though. That is the important piece. So if you have 3 Fae with secret stat 1, those secret stat 1s won't stack. There's a point at which the economy probably couldn't handle a multiplier like that. But I think that in terms of the 3 different stats, yes, that is correct. We definitely don't want you to feel as though you have to switch avatars every 30 seconds to make gameplay profitable.
And that would be true of the secret stats, but not things like an elemental affinity, right? So if the Fae that I'm playing with has... okay. All right.
So sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. But yes, for the elemental affinity and the dice show affinity, there are a few different ways that that's kind of plugging into not just the catch and capture, but even into the combat and training. And so those will be a totally different beast, and those will be very specific. It'd be kind of like switching between your mage and really any 2 characters in RPG. So
got it. Okay, Aspen is back. I hate to get away from Squiggle Muffkins because I just like saying it. I'm going to pretend that Squiggle Muffkins asked this question. So Squiggle Muffkins asks, I think this is a repeat of Hexel's question, right? If it is completely customizable, talking about imps, I'm unsure what will determine the rarity of the new imps. Will there still be some features decided by RNG, or will value be just based off of appeal and prettiness? RNG, I assume, stands for replaceable naked geography.
I think that one is the random number generator.
Oh, damn, I should have known that.
You were so close, though. But yeah, so it really is. When we talk about rarity, I think it's interesting to kind of loop in scarcity. So as we start to scale, there's a potential future here too, and I don't want to act as though this is our intended future, but we could choose that some of these secondary avatars receive fewer creator tokens than, say, further ones down the line. And so scarcity would definitely be something that plays into this, and especially when those affinities come into play. So I think that's one interesting take here, where yes, when you're creating your imp, you are making those decisions, and therefore you're in control, which means we can't really control that rarity per se. However, we can control the behaviors and affinities of those characters in regards to the dice show that they are best able to capture, train, and battle with. And so I do think the value will come in the play to earn component.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Scanning down, question from iFungible. Is Fae staking on the horizon? Yes. What does it look like? How will it work? Can't tell you yet, but yes. That is something that we've been talking about quite a bit here. I think for those of you who've been playing around in Web3 games, I think you've probably seen a lot of projects where they announce, "Hey, we're going to have staking as soon as the NFT is launched," and so you go and you stake your avatar, and all it really does is take it out of your wallet and start a counter where you're earning currency that they haven't actually released yet or announced the tokenomics on or anything like that, which seems kind of hokey to me. But the intention has always been that you will be able to stake your Fae avatars. There will be a couple of mechanisms for this, including one that would precede the launch of the Ember and Ash tokens. So we will bring you more information on that as we start to dig into tokenomics in the next couple of months. Let's see. Torzio, Torx, EO. Will imps have something like wings?
So they kind of dovetailing off of the earlier question, they will have their specific die show affinity, which will impact certain elements of gameplay. There are actually a couple others, not to dive too deep here, but there are a couple other features that we're brainstorming in the background. They're a little bit for the future, but they do also tie to Avatar specifically. I'd speak to them, but I haven't spoken to some other people here who are probably listening yet about them, so I'd hate to drop that bomb. But I think more to come on that in a future AMA. But right now, no wings, though. No wings on the amp.
No wings, at least as it will drop to you in a couple of weeks. Oh man, we're cruising through our time here. We hit this quickly. So this is the lightning round, Cypher. New trailers in the future, yes or no?
Yes.
That wasn't lightning round material there. That sounded all right. When planned token release on calendar? I think we talked about that earlier, right? Q3. Yeah. At an earlier AMA, we discussed including the ability to mint a character if you own a token and don't own a Fae. Will this be available when the creator is released in April? Oh, that's a naughty little logical question. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, well, and we've been toiling over this, and we love it. I mean, the flow for this, right, would be that, at the point that the user is registering or attempting to log in, and we look to connect that wallet, we would want to detect that they have a token, and actually, rather than loading them directly into the game, load them directly into the generator, allowing them to then create and mint their avatar, and once that mint is complete, play. That is something we definitely want, and so Zorlig and I spoke to that one, I believe it was in last week's AMA. It will not be available for the release in April, or at least it won't be complete by that time, but it is on our radar. It is something we are very interested in delivering, but we don't actually have a target date set for that yet. So kind of important to note for this first drop, the tokens, they can still be exchanged and sold. They can be used to create the avatars, but in a few weeks, those who hold those tokens and hold a Fae will be able to generate. And so it's in your best interest to ensure that you have a Fae, because that is the way to access the world of Cinder at this point.
Right. Okay. So yeah, I think the short answer is for the Fae, or for the Imp, no, but for the next Genesis avatar, good chance we've got a system like that in place. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think that is fair. We can let Zorling speak maybe a little bit more to that next AMA, but yeah, that is the game plan. So
you're a lot more careful about not getting out over your skis than I am, I think.
I mean, I have to meet with him on Monday, so
Yeah. Okay. Well, and that brings us right to the end of the hour. I want to circle back with Hack, though, and just let's remind people what is up with the contests that we have running. What do they have to do, and how do I win?
We have a contest right now of making a new creature for Cinder, and you guys have until next Friday to send it in, or maybe the night before. I'll have to see because sometimes it's like depending on the time of the AMA. And let's see, and I believe we still have the same winnings as usual. Like I believe first place is a free NFT, free Fae. Second is like 1 soul. Third and fourth and fifth are half a soul. So, guys, you got one more week.
Okay, and those entries are due. What was it? Thursday?
Probably Thursday at 11 p.m. is the best time. But I'll see if I can get any stragglers in the next morning.
Okay, all right, cool. That sounds like fun. And have we already posted the imp artwork, or are we just going to do that when we're done here?
We have not yet posted the imp artwork, but I can do that.
Okay, we're gonna drop that for you guys both here in Discord and on social. You'll get to see the first peek at the imps. I think they look pretty badass. Trying to think what else have we got. Hack and I are actually going to meet for the first time IRL this next week, right?
On Tuesday?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, this is awesome. I'll be busy interviewing
It's
on the red carpet. Excuse me. I'll be helping host, but I'm so excited. I'll be sure to get you on camera and ask a bunch of questions.
that
And
would
give a
be
shout out
rad.
to Cinder. Give a shout out to Cinder.
Yeah, since I have nothing to do with the project that we're going to be, we're both going to be at this premiere in LA for an anime that's coming out called The Journey. That Hack is actually sort of the MC, right? You are the one interviewing people on the red carpet.
I
And
will be one of
Comment
the
is
people interviewing, yes, along with Bill Butts. He does one of the voices in Jujutsu Kaisen. There's going to be a lot of cool people there, voice actors, producers. I'm personally excited. The anime looks really good. I'm a big fan of anime. I'm sure most of us are. I love anime. In fact, back in college, my major was animation and special effects. But I'm just, you know what? I'm just so outgoing and social that this was a better path for me. And I don't think I can sit 70 hours in front of a graph editor. Oh, no.
and who will you be wearing on the red carpet?
Ted Baker.
Ted Baker.
Ted Baker.
I know nothing about fashion
That
because I
dress
don't
was
know if
almost,
that's
that
like.
dress was about $200. So hell yes, I'm wearing it.
Okay, all
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Let's see. Have we covered it? Everything? Do we owe these folks? We announced the winner of the Soul for today's AMA. We're going to be running that over the weekend. Don't be surprised if it takes us until Monday to drop your winnings to you. And anything else? We have one person on deck asking if they could ask a question. Should we do it?
Let's do it.
Everybody pause. Okay, Taco Lord, you get to ask one live question of the day. Hey, how are you doing?
Thank you for letting me back up to bat.
Yeah, please. So what's on your mind?
Yeah, I got a couple questions if you can humor me.
Yes, we can.
Okay, so last week I missed the AMA, and I'm gonna echo the question. I don't know if it was answered, but like with MMO and game mechanics, I play a lot of World of Warcraft and other MMOs. I'm just wondering, like, are we going to be able to see things like raids, guilds, questing, PvP, arenas, stuff like that?
Yeah, so I'll field this one. So right now, we are primarily focused on P2E in the form of PvP combat as well as PvE. We are working on features that are centered around exploration and collection. We are having conversations about how we would rope in more multiplayer exploratory gameplay mechanics, but we have not begun the prototyping for those because we're so head down on the combat. But that all kind of dovetailing into the land and house customization. So yes, we do actually intend to have some of those features rolled out, However, most of the focus for this spring and summer will be all aimed at PvP and PvE.
Yeah, I think if the core combat mechanic and the core loop of catching, training, daisho, and taking them into combat, if that doesn't totally kick ass, then that's the foundation that we've got to build on. We have been talking about other kind of game modes that we could take, the different directions that we can go with the daisho, and it includes things like guilds and raids and base defense and those kind of things. So
It's
yeah, those
awesome.
things are on the horizon, but we haven't been talking about them because I think we want to assure everybody we're laser focused on making a kick-ass combat mechanic first.
No, yeah, and that's, I mean, like, I get that what I'm asking is totally like feature creeping and expanding scope exponentially. um, Other question about optimization, um, and this is a little more on the engineering side. Is there occlusion culling in the current build, and or can there be slash are there plans for a web deployment to play through browser?
Oh, I love it. Go ahead, Cypher.
Yeah, this is one. Yeah, this is actually one we tackled last week as well. So, yes, there is some occlusion. There is a lot of work to do though that we are doing to kind of overhaul and optimize. It's kind of and Zorling really answered this one last week with it's a never-ending battle, but we are heads down, ensuring that we improve performance of the game, make sure that we keep things running smooth, and that we expand on the options that are available in the settings menu in terms of how you control basically the visuals, the audio, all of those effects. On top of that, we did discuss briefly playing in browser, and Zorling really tackled this one with, yes, we are very excited. We would love to do that, kind of when that time is right and it's possible for us to do that. So we're staying focused at this moment on the downloaded project while we continue to build out the world and get all of these mechanics in play. But that is also sitting on the radar.
Well, and because Zorling's not here and hopefully is not listening, I'll go a little bit. I'll go a little bit further with that. He has spent a lot of time in WebGL research and R&D, as have some of the other core engineering developers on the team. And of course, there are other protocols on the horizon that are promising too. We are super interested in this, and it was actually on the first drafts of the roadmap that we put up, and we stopped talking about it because we know it's a heavy lift engineering wise, not from a simple rendering point of view, because you can do a lot of that now. It's all the other game logic and interconnection of players and server tests and all that are not quite there yet for WebGL, but they are getting there and they're making pretty rapid strides, and it's something that I'm really excited to support in the future. I think it's the path around the tyranny of the app stores on mobile, and we're going to be paying a lot of attention to it, I think, in order to keep us focused and not distract the community with making promises that we aren't sure that we can keep. When we have a timeline that we know we're going to be able to deliver it, then that's when we'll announce it.
Yeah.
But
And totally, especially with the mobile stores, like, because they're going to want to cut of that. So it's like either the trading has to be done only on Magic Eden or OpenSea and not at all in game, or only off, blockchain pulling with the build rather than,
Exactly.
you know what I'm getting at?
Yeah, so we'll have our own in-game marketplace. That's on the roadmap for this year. But of course, that's one of the reasons that we're not targeting a native mobile version right now, is because of that problem. So having a browser accessible version does get around all that. It means we don't have to worry about the App Store whether or not they decide to support blockchain gaming. And it means that 30% of everybody's revenue doesn't go to them just for keeping the lights on. So we're excited about it. I would say that as soon as the technology reliably supports it and gives decent performance, then that's going to be on our roadmap.
So then I guess to clarify, if there's a browser version, you said mobile, is that also in the picture if it can shift towards that?
Exactly. I mean, that's one of the main incentives to pursue something like WebGL or a browser version, is that now you can take it on the compatible mobile devices without the gatekeepers there, and that's part of what would excite us. The downside of
platform diversification.
Yeah. The downside of that is the variation in performance specs and GPUs and that. You almost certainly will get legacy devices trying to play it on the browser and having a really crappy experience because they just don't have the horsepower to push it. But for devices that do support it, I think the time is coming pretty quickly when we'll be able to deliver a pretty full-featured and full resolution version through the browser, and as soon as we can, we will, and you'll be able to pick the device you play on.
That's awesome. Super awesome. Another couple questions, if I may. So you said metaverse and expanding with guilds and stuff. What is the possibility of the utility of being able to download GLBs or FBX or even Unity assets to port into like VR chat and wear our phase and VR chat and stuff?
Yeah, we have a little experiment that Cypher was sharing with us earlier this week that we can't talk about yet, but what I will say is that the partners that we're talking to, that will be announced soon, put a real priority on interoperability among these different metaverse type games. So when you look at, there's NFT projects like, which one was it, Cypher? Was it World of Women that did the thing with Sandbox?
Yes.
Yeah, they did. So basically that's a 10,000 NFT project. They essentially created a wrapper for their NFT that's a Sandbox avatar. So you can validate your World of Women NFT through Sandbox and jump in with an avatar that looks like your Sandbox NFT.
That's awesome.
That kind of interoperability is, I think, really how we progress this space and we get more people involved in it. So it is something that we're really excited about. We don't have any announcements we can make about it yet, but yeah, that it's something going on in the background for sure.
Yeah, that's super exciting. And then last thing, so I don't know if you know Cloud 10 and Diplo and Friends with You project, but they just launched, I think, a couple weeks ago, and it was a character creator NFT. You buy a token, and you can go and make your own NFT and build the head and the body and the backpack and the boots and whatever. And they probably used Unity because it was a web portal to build it. But I was thinking about that with the imp creation. And so it's like they totally had rarities for each thing, and only a certain number of things could be chosen. I think it was limited to like only 100 of the golden boots could be chosen or whatever. But they were a hype project, and their website crashed during mint, and a lot of people were pretty mad because they couldn't build the friend that they wanted to and that they'd practiced building. And then they opened it back up a week later and let people who were unhappy rebuild. And so I'd say, like, perhaps you guys can look into Friends with You and see how they've done it, what went wrong, and how you could improve on it. But then also wanted to ask, is the token a one-time build thing? You build your imp, you mint it, and it's built? Or can you re-roll your imp?
This
So I
token, yeah, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, so I can tackle this one with once you have spent the token on the mint, it will leave your custodial, it will leave your wallet effectively, and it will now be replaced with the imp avatar. So it is a one time. However, you are able to access and re-access the generator as many times as you want to play with combinations to determine what works best before you mint. So it's even, we expect that users may get in, go through all of the settings for the imp, and then maybe need to log out for some reason and then return, and they can do that again. So you definitely have time to make those decisions. And one of the things too, we talked about like instituting those limits and having the mad dash towards creating these avatars, and we determined that wasn't exactly what we were going for, and that we wanted to lean into the creativity of the players, give them more the feel that they can generate what they would like to have, as opposed to feeling as though they've missed out. Now, to speak to how we do future secondary avatars and how these creator tokens function in the future, I think this will evolve over time as we have more experiences with our players, and learn more about what the community is looking for. So
Yeah,
That's awesome.
there's a system that we kicked around, and I think Zorling still really wants to build this, where we do have finite resources like the golden boots, but basically the system would evaluate each configuration and determine whether or not it was sufficiently unique to be tokenized. That if it was sufficiently differentiated from others, so that you couldn't have copycats, but at the same time you could have a rarity of items. The problem that they had is kind of illustrates the problem overall, is that you have any kind of technical glitch, you have bots, you have other things that give some players an advantage over others in jumping on the rare items first. Then that sucks for everybody else, and it's kind of hard to guard against. But no, I'm not familiar with that project. I will totally check it out and see what lessons we can take from that.
Yeah, cool. And then last question. I keep saying
I
this.
thought the last one was the last question. I'm on to you now, Taco Lord.
Next question. I am a multi-fey holder, and I haven't checked my wallet for a minute, but I only got one imp token. I was wondering if it's per wallet or per fey.
Should be per fey.
So you should. Yeah, so those tokens do stack, so you should see a number next to that token or in the corner of that NFT icon, and that should denote the number of creator tokens that you have.
Oh, I see. Okay, so in my Phantom wallet, it's Cinder Creator Token 2. Okay.
Right.
I just don't know how to use Phantom and Soul yet.
No, it's not totally intuitive, because that's not how MetaMask works. It shows them all individually. But okay, I'm cutting you off, Taco Lord.
No, yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for letting me up, and that literally was all of it.
All right. I'm glad we covered them all. Thank you, everybody, for joining us here this week. It was great to be back with you and among you. Hack and I will have to get some pictures or something of our first IRL meeting. But Cypher, anything to close us out?
Just our second One Soul winner for the end of the
Oh,
anime.
right.
So we do have one more winner to announce before we are done, and I have that ready, although I'm positive I can't say it. But the winner, the second One Soul winner today is Avlexia. I can't say it. Avliexia.
Alicia. I don't know either, but I like it. It sounds like Fey language. Okay.
Yes. So
all right.
That's just a reminder that's on Monday.
Yeah. So look for your soul on Monday, because our soul master is coming back from Disneyland. And if you, if either of our winners, Hexel and Ezoljibitu, have any question about the receiving their soul, then please, drop us a ticket. Anything else to close out from you, Hack?
Nope, not for me. I'm just excited to see you in person on Tuesday, and I agree we should get a picture. Now, just to let you guys know, I will be painted for the camera, so I will be essentially painted for the back row. So there's a chance I may look like Bozo the Clown. So if you see Clark with the with a picture of a clown with red head, it's me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm excited. And I'm also
It'll
excited
be
to
fun.
continue seeing submissions for the creature contest. Very excited.
Yes. So please get those in by Thursday, everybody. I'm psyched to see them. And thank you all for joining us. We will see you in the chat, in Discord, and in Cinder. So peace.
Thanks, Wildworks.
Thanks, everybody.